Hello again, and welcome to Grow to Glow. I'm Dr. Thashna Walsh, and I am on a roll at the moment answering a few questions. Here's another one. I spoke to a lady yesterday, and she said, not yesterday, the day before, she said she wants to be in this program of transition into a new version of herself, but she's finding it very difficult to forgive and let things go from her past because she feels that as much as she's trying to go in this direction, that is kind of holding her back. And and what I had to say to her was basically what I'm saying to you, because I'm sure there are lots of people out there who are feeling the same thing. Forgiveness is primarily for you. It's not for the person that you feel have done you wrong. Because if you think about it, the person you feel have done you wrong, remember, you are in control of those feelings. You feel they did you wrong, it's your feelings. Okay? So they may have not responded in the way that you wanted them to respond, which hurt your feelings. But they're your feelings. Those people can't jump inside your body and make you feel that way. You are the only one responsible for those feelings. So, in order to move on with your life, you have to drop that. You have to really come to a point where you're like, my life and where I'm going is much more important than this baggage that I'm carrying that is going to hold me back and really not going to allow me to get to where I'm getting. So you need to make a choice like, this is actually not hurting them, it's hurting me. Um, and whatever, even if you had some words and they are hurting as well as you are hurting, they still have to deal with their baggage and drop that. You can't make them drop that. You can go and say, look, I am sorry. And they can say, look, I'm sorry. But say sorry to yourself. You don't have to wait for anyone to say sorry to you. Or you are the one in control. You are the life force. You are the power. You are. Okay. And you know what? As soon as you let that go, that heaviness that you feel, it also disconnects from them and you set them free at the same time. You don't even have to say a word to them. It's just energy. You are holding on to it. They're holding on to it. And there's this thing going on between the two parties. Can't see it, but you can feel it. But you're creating it. But as soon as you decide to let it go, just let it go, you have disconnected yourself from it, which means you're not feeding them anymore. So they have to go somewhere else. And you might find that they come to you and say, look, I'm sorry, because that's how energy works. Or they might just disappear out of your life if that's what you prefer. But that's how energy works. So give yourself, uh, give yourself permission to forgive you, to say, I forgive me for holding on to that, for slowing me down, for anchoring me here and not allowing myself to live my life. Forgive yourself. Okay? Because that's how we bring all these generational karmic things into our life that keeps us stuck until we start saying, look, I let that go. I let that go. You know? You have to, that is a muscle you must build because people are going to always be saying things to you. So there's a lot of people in pain all around, and people are angry and irritable and they're just snappy because they don't know who they are. They're anxious about life. They're stressed out. So you're going to get it all the time. So if you're going to be sensitive to everything that somebody says, and you want people to pussyfoot around you, then that's not living an authentic life. People need to be able to say what they got to say, and you process it and go, okay, I understand what they're saying. I understand what they're feeling. I can see that they're hurting, and then you can you can have compassion as opposed to react. Yeah. So compassion is more proactive. You recognize that they're hurting, which is why they're behaving like that. Nothing to do with me. They're just snapping at something that's going on that probably started from their childhood, and they've just kind of carried with them and behaved in that way over and over, and they just need to be triggered by something, and then you were just the one that was stood there at that point that just took the brunt of it. So you can see, when you start living in this sort of headspace, you can see people for who they are, where they're at, and not take it personally. It doesn't make it an excuse for them to treat you like crap, but you see where they're at, and For example, if someone spoke to me in a really rude way or snapped at me, I do one of two things. I'd say, excuse me, I don't deserve that. And what's going on with you? Why have you snapped at me? Sometimes they don't even know. And they might even snap more and just snap and yell and scream and then bugger off. And you're left holding all of this. But then if I'm left holding all of that, what I'll do, I'll recognize that, okay, my ego wants to tell me that I need to react or need to feel bad or need to send bad energy to them or feel bad about them. But I know that that negative energy is going to affect me. It's going to hurt me. It's not hurting anybody else but me. So, so then I'm just looking at, okay, how can I turn this around? That person is clearly hurting and they're projecting it at me, but it's not really anything that I did. It's something that they're feeling. So instead of actually trying to at them, I then start welcoming that feeling, that's saying, okay, I'm just going to put love on it, is what I like to say, or welcome it and bury it in love, which means you're almost like giving them a hug. You're like taking that version of them and sticking them in your heart and just smothering them in love and wishing them all the best, that they'll feel peace, they'll feel joy, they'll feel better, and that's what you do. And then when you do that, you feel so much better and the love inside of you just expands. And the energy that you're projecting to them as well then helps them to release a little bit more. Because if we're just pointing the finger and blaming and shaming everybody, it's like throwing fire and fuel on fires. Just fire, but it's burning and screaming and wallowing at each other. So give yourself permission just to forgive. Take a step back, go inside yourself and go, what do I deserve? Do I deserve better than this? Yes, I do. So I'm not going to engage in that sort of behavior that somebody is giving me. I'm just going to walk away from it, but I'm not going to curse them either. I'm going to give them their best, wish them their best, because we're all going through stuff. We're all on this journey. We're all trying to find who we are so that then we can live that really wonderful, fully lit up life. We're all on the journey. And once you recognize that, then you can basically stop waiting for people to give you permission. Okay? You don't need anybody to give you permission. You are in control. You're in full control because God is here, and that's all. This the only permission you need is if God say go, you go. Universe say go, you go. Source say go, you go. Okay? Source say no, you say you go. Okay, no, and you turn away. You turn the other cheek and you walk. Okay, so I hope that speaks to someone sitting there thinking about your stuff your mom did when you were 4 or 5 years old, or your uncle did, and some of these things can be really terrible. I know there can be terrible, but you're talking about sexual abuse and physical abuse and all of that stuff. I experienced that as a child, so I understand. It's not easy to just let it go, but it's a process. You just have to want to. You have to want to let it go, because if you don't want to let it go, that's going to make it even harder. But if you want that life, that success you want in your life, you want that unconditional love to flow through you, so you feel that complete abundance flowing into your life. You feel that complete love in relationships, and you feel life is just in flow, and you're just feeling great about things, and you can really help people from the struggles that they're going through, because you can empathize, you can sympathize, you can empower them from a space of experience. Then that's where you want to go, right? That's where you want to go. Nobody want to sit and wallow in their misery. People think that they do because it feels good. It's easier. It's easier to sit there and whine about stuff. But if you want the success that you want in your life, whether it's love, money, spirituality, whatever it is, you have to let go of the baggage. You just have to. It cannot come with you. Absolutely no way, because love and hate doesn't exist on the same frequency. Okay? Doesn't exist on the same frequency. So you choose. Where do you want to go? Do you want to be up there being your best version of yourself? You just want to stay here and wallow in the stuff and complain and moan and bitch about who did what to you. It's a thing that happened. And I don't want to make it, belittle it, and say it's not important. It is important, but it's important that you learn the lesson from it and move on. That's what's important. Because if you're sitting there thinking, okay, this person molested me, or this person really hurt me and beat me up when I was this age, and therefore I can never forgive them and I can never move on, and I'm scared of men because of that, and I'm scared of this because of that, you have to learn to let that go. Otherwise, you're never going to live a fulfilled life. You can't. You can't. I'm really sorry, but you can't. So it's important to start entertaining the idea that I think I could let this go. Even start there. I think I could let this go. Or ask the question, how? How, 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 how do I let this go? Because that alone changes the whole energy. And then you start opening your mind up. When you start opening your mind up to say, how can I be better? How can I feel better? There's nothing that your body wants more than to help you. Your mind wants to help you. And once you've given it the okay, it will do what you tell it. But if you keep telling it, oh, I hate, and I can't, then it's going to help you with that as well. So whatever you tell it, it's going to support you with. So say, hey, how can I do better on this? How can I really improve on this? And then when it gives you the signs for improvement, whether it's a book it puts in front of you or someone to talk to, then entertain it. Entertain it and let yourself open up. Your ego's gonna want to shut you down, but you've got to start practicing to go, okay, I recognize what's going on. Yeah, you're scared because you don't want me to go out here to try something new and then feel more hurt. But you've got to say, look, if I stay here, that's going to completely hurt me and I'm not going to get anywhere. So I have to go. I have to step out. I have to step out. I know people talk about stepping out of your comfort zone. That kind of stresses me out. I love comfort. So I don't want to step out of my comfort zone, but I like to grow within my comfort zone and expand it so that, I know I'm being pedantic with the words, but comfort is a word that soothes me. And if you're telling me to step out of my comfort zone, that's not soothing to me. So I like to say, stay in your comfort zone and let the world and let everything let it expand, and you bring the beauty into it. So you're almost transmuting the negativity of your comfort zone, where you'll be stuck in that loop on the hamster wheel, not doing anything. That's not comfortable to me. So you're transmuting it back to what true comfort is, true fulfillment in life. Okay, so so give yourself that permission to love on you, respect your journey, respect your beingness, respect that you're here for a reason. And it's not just to sit here and go, oh, life is hard. And why did that happen? And oh, I've got to pay this bill and I got to do this. Life is about enjoyment. It's about really experiencing and enjoying things. And yes, we all have to pay bills, but you don't have to feel miserable about it. And the more miserable you feel about it, is the more you're telling the universe that you want more to be miserable about paying. Okay? So when you start owning and saying, you know what? Thank you. I get to do this. I get to pay this bill. I get to do the shopping and I get to do all these amazing things. Make them amazing, because it's something that you can't avoid. So turn them into something good. And then you know what? Then the universe will start supporting you. You'll get more money in order to buy more stuff, because it's saying, oh, you like to shop, so here's more money. You like to do this, here's more of these resources. You like to do that, here's more of that. And once you start coming out of yourself, you realize things are start happening for you. Because that's what happened for me. You just have to start allowing yourself to just tap into elements of yourself, different elements of yourself, because there's so many of them. And you just need to choose one step further and then the next step further. You just keep improving and improving, because it never ends. It's infinite. This is an infinite universe, infinite quantum space that we live in. And there are so many versions of ourselves we can step into. So it's up to you. It's up to you. But first, start with dropping the baggage. Forgive. Love people where they're at. And yes, some of them are terrible. And I shouldn't really say that. It's not because they're terrible. It's because they're thinking terrible things. So they respond in terrible ways that are not matching up. But you know what? It has to be that yin and yang. We all have to go through that to recognize where we need to what we don't want to what we want. And Abraham calls it the contrast. Yeah. if we're not experiencing contrast in our life, then we don't know that we want something better for ourselves. So when we get the contrast and it makes us feel uncomfortable, then we go, okay, I don't like this. Don't like this at all. I don't like this. So therefore, what can I do to make myself feel better? Okay. So thank you very much. And again, let me also invite you. So for those of you who this is touched in some way, who feel like they want to hear more, they want to know more, they want to understand more, then I invite you to an ignition call. An ignition call is an hour-long talk. I mean, it doesn't have to go on for an hour, but I'm offering an hour. So it's like free coaching for an hour. Just to see what's going on with you, what you need help with. Can I help you? And we take it from there. I also will introduce you to my Grow to Glow 10-week Ascension Pathway, which is a new program developed to help women, especially. I'm not going to say no to men because it works for anyone, but to help you move from that stuckness, that overwhelmness, that anxious way of living in fear, living in despondence, and knowing that you want more, but you feel like you can't. You don't know how to shift out of that rut that you're in. If you want to learn more about that, I'll talk to you about that 10-week program as well, which is designed to take you out of the rut, so you move your life to the next level. So you're out of the three-dimensional push, pull, emotionally. You're living in the 3-day space on Earth, yes, because we have to live here. We're three-dimensional beings, but then we're thinking and creating and evolved into fourth and fifth dimension. So we're not feeling the stress. We're living and enjoying life, and things are in flow. Okay, so it's taking you from the stress to the flow, nice and easy. Okay, so thank you again. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please click that subscribe button so that every week you will get some insights on thoughts and questions that I'm answering within this space. And also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And any questions at all, put them in the comment section, or reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook. You can reach out to my personal Facebook on Messenger, or use Thashna Walsh Lifestyle Therapy direct messaging. And I will find you because I'm always looking, checking my messages, and responding. So thank you again for the question. That's a brilliant question. And yeah, and I hope it's blessed a few people as well. Thank you. Have a great, wonderful day. Lots of love coming your way. Lots of love and light. Until next time, keep smiling. Bye.